To go. Okay. All right. I see you're already getting connected. That's awesome, but we'll give you a prompt for that. So first off, I wanted to just tell you a little bit more about who we are. We also have some of our partners with us here today. So we'll have an opportunity to hear from some of our partners, some of our team members. And yeah, so we are from the Center for Community and Nonprofit Studies. We're a unit in the School of Human Ecology. And we're one of the hubs at the university to try and connect the university with the community, and in particular, those who serve our social sector and the good people of the state, and try and help them do that better in leveraging UW's resources to do that well. We have a lot of different things that we do through our center, but one of these is our co-create team. And we're an applied research and evaluation unit where we really think about taking the of a social scientist and bringing that forward to those who try and improve our community. So that includes some of our partners in philanthropy. And this is Tony Shields from the Wisconsin Philanthropy Network, as well as Noah Salata from the American Family Dreams Foundation, folks we've partnered with and who have supported us in some of our work with nonprofit partners like Wendy Hathaway, who is from the League of Women Voters of Dane County. So our team is really trying to bring forward what we have into a collaborative space so that we can answer questions that are of priority to our community groups. So that involves a lot of mutual learning. And it's really great to be able to follow up the presentation from before because a lot of those principles are, absolutely what we're trying to do. And in the day-to-day of doing that, some of the fine practices that support us coming together at the table for mutual learning, those are the reflections that we wanted to offer today. So from our experiences, we'll offer just 4 reflections today and then invite conversation further about those. So for this first one, about getting to know each other. As people and as learners, it's important for our work together. For myself, I tell this to folks, when I know you, I work much harder for you. It's just a reality. I want to know about your kids. I want to know about your pets. And I show up different. So getting to know each other is important. It also helps us understand a little bit more about our priorities. So what I wanted to do, so we can hear a little bit more from our partners, is pose these questions first to our partners so the group can get to know who's here today. And then we're going to join you at your tables and answer these questions together. Right, Noah, you want to
kick off with this?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Amy. Noah Salata, American Family Insurance Dreams Foundation. I use he, him pronouns. I'm a community and social impact advisor, and so my time is spent primarily in the community working with nonprofits, and I oversee our grant making strategy. And the one thing that I love to take away from this session is just more opportunity to listen and learn. Those doing the work closest to the work and understanding how we, from a business perspective, coming into the community and academia, how we can best show up in these partnerships.
My name is Tony Shields, he, him pronouns. I am president and CEO of Wisconsin Philanthropy Network. WPN is a membership association for grant makers around the state of Wisconsin. So we work with any number of different types of foundations, corporate, community, family, health-related funders, as well as education funders. What I would like to learn from today's session is, or what I'd like to, my personal goal is to just make connections and get to know people, maybe run into somebody who I've only seen like this over the course of the last couple of years, which has happened a couple of times today. But yeah, just making connections.
I use she, her pronouns. I'm the executive director at the League of Women Voters of Dane County, which is the local level. There's also the state league and the national league. And we're in the democracy space, as our name implies, but we also do a lot of work in other kinds of civic engagement, education, advocacy, outreach. What I'm really looking forward to today and from this whole conference today is just thinking about different ways that we can center the people that are most impacted by barriers to voting and voter suppression for in our work. And just how to be better listeners and collaborators.
Great. And I'll invite some of our team members to co-create as a team of about 15. Typically, we have a few staff members and then graduate students and undergraduate students who work on our team as well. So Costanza, I'll invite you to answer as well.
Hi, I'm Costanza Generali. I'm a graduate student in the Masters of Human Ecology program, and I'm working with Co-Create on a couple of different projects right now. I guess what I would like to learn today is I would like to gain a new perspective. I think like I'm in classes and I'm working on a few projects and it's easy to sort of get into your own little bubble, but hearing from others can help have a better new perspective on things.
I'm Alex Wells. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the Co-Create project coordinator, program coordinator. And I think what I'd really like to learn is just what are people's diverse learning styles. I'm really interested to learn how you all learn. So I'm looking forward to hearing about that.
Review on our second question.
Yeah.
All right, but let's, we'll come join your tables, but let's take about 5 minutes to answer these questions at our tables and get to know each other a little bit as learners.
Okay, all right.
Totally fine.
Yeah.
Come around this other way.
And I'm a research specialist at the center. So thanks for part of that.
So what I learned really
Is that the one?
Yeah, that's the one.
Well, you can close it. There is. Yes. No, very success. That's like part 2 of this. I think it's 2 is like that's fine. In my office, because if I leave it open, it hits me in the back of the head. It's like, it used to be like I moved it.
Does sunburn like it in your office?
I think there's so many great ideas about
Between talking to the president right now, talking to the president. One of us has to go. One of us has to go to New Orleans, and it's like, as it worked out, I think she's got. She can't go to New Orleans. I know nothing. So maybe there's very exciting things to do. Yeah, it's pretty new. I mean, I don't know. That's what Google likes to do. They schedule conferences in the office.
You can't name all 7 All right, are we feeling ready for the next? Yes. Yes. Okay. Reflection number 2. Because I started my career as a high school teacher, so having instruction in multiple learning styles, and how do you instruct in multiple learning styles, and the amount of practice I got in designing handouts. I taught high school, so I spent a lot of time designing handouts. And I'll tell you, I draw on those skills so much. Thinking about not just the words we say, but also what the page looks like, what's the metaphor that we should use, what's the image that we might use. And in those of us who come from the university, the written word we put so much power into, but it's just this teeny tiny bit of how we communicate and then how we can learn together. And there are multiple ways of knowing too. Some of them have things to do with stats or, thematic qualitative analysis, but there's so much more than that too. So a reflection that we're drawing on a lot is that there are different learning styles and different ways of knowing. All of those are good. All of those help us learn together. We got to think about this too. So the questions that we'd like to offer you, what kind of learner are you? And it's not a all the time kind of thing. It might be in different situations, but what supports your learning? And what have you done or experienced or perhaps heard about in community university partnerships that you think invites more people into learning? So let's have some conversation at the tables about these questions.
All right.
As adults, there's a lot of people are like the strength ratio, because that doesn't think about learning.
No, I don't think that talks about
There is somebody, I feel like somebody we know
Like I can take all the notes
Somebody
until I
that
do
we
go a
know
few times.
that is like close relation to does it. Stuff is just some people want. But the song so done it, done them. And now
Yeah.
cold, but yeah, that's right. It's like we did it with the students too. And I feel like if there was like quadrants or something. Well, and it was weird too because it was like I was in one, and everybody that I worked with or supervisors was like 2 meters.
I feel like we did it at training this year.
Didn't we? Like, yeah, when we just did this.
And I did it in grad school next year too.
That's not the like north, south, east, west.
Yeah, there's like a line where you have to draw. And also one thing I find, but I think I'm a experiential learner, like I don't like to see
I would you're trying, you know, that's what I'm just trying to do it.
But learning is really focused.
It's a project, so I can sure, but right now, no, I didn't talk about it. Only doing stuff. Yeah, I love we all.
That was a big.
I know we can watch that.
It's always great because parents is very like,
Like, how do I actually put that?
Check mark or something. You rank the top 10 items. Divergent. Gotta be a some really think about it.
Especially taking the same. But it wasn't actually the research piece that then regression psychology. Now I
Yeah. Right, exactly. It's right. It's not just like bubbles.
What stage is the research practices or
They don't have to. Is there still a physical presence?
Yeah, there's a bunch.
We've never actually purchased anything from them because I always went to keep it, and it's like we're actually right on our feet. I think we do much. Again, yeah, it's something. It's not like some of it's just because My wife. This mocktail chicken season, is that pension segment? Because otherwise. So maybe it's confusing. Like two. We have a couple. Well, that's actually good. We like kind of flipper. It's just maybe just be called burger seasoning or something.
I'm fond on
yeah, I was just trying to kind of rubber, like, yeah. I mean, I guess they don't have any. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's still working. Yeah. We try to buy it. Well, there's I mean, it looks, it started out with somebody gave us like a,
And I get very,
like a,
oh no, that's okay. How do you guys?
yeah,
You have to have master conversation. There's a skill I want to get there, but I'm not there.
So our time is moving fast, but I've heard wonderful thoughts being shared at the table, and I would like to expand and invite some of that into the whole room. Second question. People's experiences or things they've done that they think really supports, invites more people into learning. So if anyone share with the whole group, I'd love to hear that.
I mean, at our table, and I don't want to speak for everyone at the table, but we were just kind of having a conversation about ways that we're seeing either a need to open up more space for essentially like getting to know people and other forms of conversation in order to facilitate community engagement. Either a need for that or like examples of that. So like the example that you were just sharing. Yeah.
Well, the energy community initiative out of the Department of Engineering. To talk with communities interested in clean energy before grants come out, where they need to fighting community. One thing that I'll just share from our work, you know, when I think when I was a graduate student doing some, what's our final report going to look like? And in our work at Co-Create, at some point we started asking that in plural. What's the collection of materials that we're going to share at that? And just there's always going to be multiple forms of that, including the conversation, that being a really important part of just like, let's just talk through what we think we've learned and how that might be useful to you, in addition to the report and the infographic. All right, so we have two more reflections. The third one is kind of a hard lesson that we took. But in many or most or all projects, there's underlying assumptions or sometimes pressures that are present, but we don't always recognize them or their influence. And when we make this visible, we can address that influence. So we think this is always present, and we're trying to get very proactive about, at the beginning, just what do you want to happen? Or what do you think needs to happen? Just so we can lift that up and talk about it. We learned this the hard way, working on a large evaluation that we knew was near and dear. We didn't know how near and dear it was until we shared some results that we felt were, would be definitely embraced in that, oh, we can do better because we want to realize our vision. But was so near and dear to people that they felt like we kind of crushed their spirit. It was their baby. And if we had known it was their baby and not just something they both cared about, we would have been able to present our results in a way that was just a little bit more tender and recognizing the feelings around that. So in evaluation, this is definitely, there's felt pressures from supervisors or from funders. That's there. Sometimes people just have a vision of what the end is going to look like. And so if that vision is a little bit different than what we find, it can be confusing. So we're curious about how you've seen this. Have you had experiences where underlying assumptions or pressures were influential in a community university partnership or a project? If so, to what extent was that apparent to you? And what did you do? So let's take some time for conversation around this one.
Again, like, I don't know about psychology. I don't know what this is right now. It's like perfect. I think when they were actually systematic it is never yeah, right.
Always. I feel like
This and it's so much happening for not happening. And so what did you do to combat this? Now I'm trying to find relationships that will central office. Now to understand who's there, what the relationship look like, how to leverage that so they can be part of these conversations. So that's one thing we're currently navigating. Yeah, it would be a lot easier. And I think that was just the idea originally. And then it was like, there was so much like, oh, yeah, some people
That's right.
We're only 1 month behind on the sustainability standards.
There's an underlying assumption that what we're gonna do is like very key, even creating like experiments for them based on the underlying pressures last always figure out a way to affirming expertise and follow up just trying to,
Yeah, if we get to, we were just looking at what it is like with the trending and all these. How can we better, like, yeah, well, one, not have to have it be so complicated, but then like, how can we
that's a form of pressure.
For like this one.
yeah, I mean, as long as it's like. But yeah, right, as long as they, you know, right, if you each one, student or if you right. It's just, you know, and then as we start to get, because as we start thinking about writing larger grants and all that stuff, that's not going to necessarily be specific. I mean, it might be a grant initially, but I can see this like the Margaret Center writes a grant or whatever. Like, never, you know, whatever, so like, unless it's actually coming at some surprise that we'll have to work on search for how we can solve for everyone here, so it's fun. It's just, it's agents and actual, you can be this direct hire, it's not specific program, right? Like we can just say within 6 months to get that reimbursed. You know, if it's probably 4 people, I think it's probably yeah. Yeah. It's interesting too because it's like, you know, what we do internally. Said I'm going to get 20,000 and break it down. You know, this is going to be as it's going to stay a certain but the thing is, like, most of all, our one thing that has to go like, it's just like, because that is a very center level. It's like salary, and then it's literally buying programs like I don't know that there's no budget. You know, we'll have we can have it, yeah. That's like, and even if you do it and keep that internal, is that then something to right. Right, if we email it all. Well, that's like, what's the Gmail thing? I thought we know.
Great.
In the last one,
We're
like limited.
coming up on the end of our time. I'd love to invite one example
Ours is way lower.
and perhaps the solution to your example, if anyone has one to share. Selfishly too.
Apparently it's been.
Yeah, maybe next time for the Wisconsin Idea Conference. Happen this time. I know some business office folks and within UW are sharing more lessons learned around that in particular. Budget set aside and everyone is on board. There's nothing worse than, yeah, we're going to pay you in 3 months after you fill out all these forms. So yeah, but yeah, really important and some work being done there. All right, so then the last reflection, is just, and I think this has come up in every conversation I've heard, emotions are part of this. The university thinks we're all just brains on 2 legs, but we're not. Emotions are always there, and learning happens when we feel secure, when we feel stretched sometimes, when we feel curious, and emotions are part of this. So how we can learn more effectively when we embrace the emotional side. And it doesn't always mean we need to be happy, but it does mean sometimes that tuning into our bodies of like, oh, something about that's uncomfortable, but there's growth there happening. Or yeah, I feel disappointed because our program, we didn't get the outcome that we wanted, but we're going to get there. We also have found in our works that sometimes in partnership, the effort of bringing data to action is a slog. So how do we use memes to get people on board with a time study? That was Alex's genius right there. But just recognizing that emotions are part of this. So we'd love to just hear one word from everyone, and we'll go around to hear everyone, just how you're feeling as you leave today. So I will start. I feel energized. It's great to be in a room of people. But keep it to one word. Don't follow my example. Trudy.
Belonging.
Motivated. Reflective learner. I like to reflect.
Okay.
Open. Understand.
Reassured.
Inspired.
Validated.
Included.
Still feeling sort of inspired.
Informed.
Sure.
I was gonna say included.
Motivated. And back to our table. Well, thank you all so much for joining us in this conversation. We just wanted to chat with some folks about what we're thinking and hear what you're thinking. So thank you so much for being a part of this. Here's our website for the Commons Co-Create team, and then our email addresses, as well as our Co-Create partners who are here today too. Thank you.
start some surveys at your tables and some more up here if you want them to fill out about the sessions.